It's a bit of a grey day today for today's hike. It's a Sunday, 29th of September. Anyway, this is my northernmost hike. Not going any further north than this Cirque Peak. It's in the Banff National Park, about 40 kilometres north on the Icefields Parkway. Today started off pretty nice at Golden. Thought it's going to be a pretty good day. I did have a look at some models, weather models, just see what conditions might be like here. And there were suggestions. There could be a little bit of cloud, maybe some light precip. It is cool to cold. Temperature's probably 5-6 degrees Celsius. Anyway, Cirque Peak, 16 kilometres long. Elevation gain 1,100 metres. In fact, the trails already started off pretty steep. Only 300 metres in. Already gained 154 feet. Okay. Should take me about 5 hours. And then Calgary. Decided to stay Calgary overnight. And tomorrow night. Do a little bit of shopping. And then, based off weather forecast and what I've seen, tomorrow should be a really good hiking day. So the hike I was planning on Tuesday, I'll bring forward to Monday. And then I'll do a driving day on Tuesday. Okay. Today. Had no idea they were there, but one was just beside the trail and then it ran away. That's how I knew it was there. Someone mentioned somewhere, I don't know where, just be careful of the creek crossings on this hike. So only 700 metres in, and this is the second creek crossing. Don't have to be careful. If you need to be careful there, then I'm concerned about you. Unless there's more treacherous creek crossings further on, which is possible. They should call this hike Creek Crossing Hike or Trail. This will be 2 in a row here. This will be crossing number 5 or 6. 5 or 6. Maybe 5 and 6. Yeah, so... And no concerns crossing the creeks at this point in time. We're only 1.39 kilometres in, by the way, so doing a creek crossing almost every 200 metres. 2.4 kilometres in, and starting to lose the trees. Although these trees look like they've died, probably a fire. Trunks look black. The other side of the path, it's thick with shrubs. So maybe there's a bit of fire in here. It just killed most of the trees. And you can see there's pines growing underneath. So that fire has brought new life. Bit of view. It's opened up. And now the sun's coming out. There's a lake down there. So the road is somewhere there. Chance of views might look a little bit better on the way down because of this low cloud. Although the low cloud makes it look pretty. Lots of fog and low cloud. Hopefully this lifts, because it looks like I'm heading straight into it. Typically it lifts, but I've been somewhere, Juneau, Alaska, where it was foggy for 2 or 3 straight days. Fog never lifted. So you never know. good thing about now is we've gone around a ridge, so I've lost the noisy drone of the traffic, and all I can hear is, I thought it was either a waterfall or some rapids, but I can see a waterfall there, at least one waterfall, and there could be rapids down there as well. Anyway, the low cloud is lifting a little bit, so starting to see a little bit more. That's the plan. So far seen 3 people. Overtook these elderly gentlemen, and then 2 people coming back. I'm wondering if they went to Cirque Peak or somewhere else for sunrise. That would make sense based off timing. Sunrise is really late. It's like 7:30 or something like that. Ridiculous. Sunset is like 7:32. Anyway. That's it. It does look like it's going to open up eventually up here. Another good thing about this hike is it's not uphill all the way. It's uphill, flat bit, uphill, flat bit, uphill, flat bit. So I've gone up about 1,200 feet so far. Hasn't felt like it because of the undulating nature of the hike. Creek crossing number 7. I'm really thinking about just crossing here instead of going up to the log there. No, do the log. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. I think I could have done it. Easy. Yeah. Maybe on the way back. Yeah, not as much low cloud now. Hopefully it keeps on improving. That is Cirque Peak straight ahead. Just confirmed. So we have to climb that. Somehow. I think from the side. Actually, I do have a map, so can you just have a look at the map? Not straight on. If it's straight on, I'll be looking for a trail. I think I can see one, but maybe I'm just seeing things. Otherwise, yeah, it's just low cloud has lifted a little bit and should continue to lift with a little bit of heating. Helen Lake, sun is now coming out. Hopefully that's a good sign. That's a beautiful shot of Helen Lake with a bit of Cirque Peak reflecting. And I think, well actually I don't think, I know the trail goes around there, and I can actually see the trail side of that cliff there, somewhere there. And then up somewhere. So let's go. It's maybe one of my favourite spots of the trip so far, Helen Lake. It's taken me ages to get from the start of the lake to here. There's just sun coming out, reflections, there's just a zephyr of wind and not much. Getting these reflections. Yeah, so one of my favourite spots of the hike so far. Maybe not my favourite hike so far, but one of my favourite spots. Sun is now out, so there's just a little bit of wind, so it's not crystal clear, the reflections, but it's at some points it was, and there is a person. I did pass an old guy. Now there's a lot of hikes around here, and a lot of the people just come to Helen Lake, which I can understand now. I was looking in the complete wrong direction for the trail. I thought the trail kept on going that way, up there, but it's doubled back and now it's going up. And now I think we go across. Anyway, I now can see there's 3 people down there. They've all stopped. And this comes back to, there's a chance I'm the only person on this hike right now. Well, up here anyway. And I think it's because I started a little bit earlier. In fact, I started this hike a little bit later than what I usually like to. But people tend to start hikes really late. Relative to what I like to start anyway. Which I am not complaining about. Okay, so we have steps here. Whoa. Sketchy part of the trail here. Okay. So I'm at the top of this section now. Cirque Peak. A nice, interesting mountain range there. Probably go this way. Yeah, there's a lot of trails in this area. There's a trail that goes that way. A trail that goes this way. And I'm looking for my trail. Up there, somewhere. Okay, walking up to Cirque Peak. I took a wrong way. Along these ledges, just below where I am right now. It looked like the right way. Very narrow ledges. A few times I was thinking, geez, don't want to be coming back when there's people coming this way. At one point I had to sit down and reach across, and there was a vertical drop down. It's like, I'm not sure this is right. And then I had a look at the map and I was off. There was a person behind me who was going to do the same thing. I said, no, that's the wrong way. Anyway, Cirque Peak. So I'm recording this on the way down, and probably my least favourite part of the trip so far is the hike here. It's loose, you have to be very careful. I actually did wish I bring my hiking poles, but look at that. Look at that. With the cloud completely lifted, or the low cloud anyway. This is the views as I walk back to the car. This will probably be my last video snippet until the very end. It's been a interesting hike. One of my favourite spots, Helen Lake. I think that was because of timing, perfect timing. But the scramble or the hike up Cirque Peak, one of my least favourite parts of this trip so far. So that's interesting. Anyway, I'm skedaddling towards the car. About 5 kilometres back, I think. Typically when I'm skedaddling back to the car, I do it quickly. So this is it for now. That is Cirque Peak done. So it's, well, pace 22:22. So 6 hours 10 minutes, about 16.5 kilometres. So what I expected. A little bit longer than I thought, just because the hike up to Cirque Peak was tricky, and down was tricky as well. So that took a little bit more time. But anyway, on to Calgary now. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day.